Okay, so I keep making excuses of not recording, not having lighting, not feeling the energy. And it's funny because I run a company, and all the times these are things that I tell people that you need to be able to do. It's just part of the process. And excuse me, I am taking off my Invisalign. Mm. You can tell this video is going to be very raw. Most of them will be very raw, but I'm almost done with this treatment, which is great. But what works for me, honestly, a lot of times I do my calls when I am driving, because what tends to happen is when I get to an office, I tend to be super busy, or some 10 things always end up coming up, and I end up not doing YouTube. Always come up with something else to do, because technically there is a lot of things to do. This may not be the safest thing to do since I am looking at the camera, but I do tend to just watch YouTube normally when I am driving. So I think this is going to be a great way as well for me to kind of talk things out and watch videos as well. Today's video, I really wanted to talk a little bit more about personal freedom. I know a lot of people maybe that are watching or that are new to maybe your first video seeing this, you're really interested in personal freedom. And I used to own a gym before this company that I own now. That company that I did own, I was a slave. I was working all day. I was doing the personal training, I was doing the cleaning, was doing the marketing, the advertising, the selling. It was a one-stop shop of disaster on my end, and it was exhausting. I had a business, but I wasn't a business owner. I say that because a lot of people have different definitions of business owner. I really don't think you own a business if you can't just walk away for a set period of time that can be, 48 hours a week, 6 months, and that it can't operate without you. That's something that I'm constantly working on at my current company and moving forward, because the stress does accumulate over time. So I really wanted to talk today about how to do that. And the first step is people. Obviously, every business is different. I'm just going to talk about mine in specific. For me, I deal with people. I'm in a business, direct to consumer, business. So for me, it's really important that the people who we hire are the right people. So I wanted to walk you guys through some of the guidelines when we do hire people. So number one, whenever anybody wants to apply, they need to go to our website, which is amigostutoring.com. On amigostutoring.com, it'll take you to the careers page, and there people can apply for the job. They can read the description. On the description, personally, we like to try to put as detailed as possible what it is that the person is going to be doing, what they're going to be getting paid, which location they're going to be working at, and a little bit about the company history. Unfortunately, we have a limited amount of space of the information that you do put, so you want to try to be as specific as possible. But of course, depending on the job, the more you can put is always better, so the person has a better idea. A lot of people will apply for positions, and the first step that we do is an initial phone call. They usually have about 6 to 8 mandatory questions to answer. If they don't answer 1 or 2 of those questions, off the bat, I can already tell that the person doesn't really care that much about the job, and they may be just job hopping. So if I really do like those responses, or I really like something specific from them, I will give them a call for a follow-up question of something else that I may not know exactly, or that I might want more information. So let's just say that the candidate, was really good, but they didn't do their virtual interview, so I didn't really hear their voice. I give them a call, want to hear how their tone of voice is. Do they pick up the phone saying, "What do you want?" Or do they pick it up by, "Oh, hello, this is Xavier." How receptive are. That's always a good sign. Once we actually call them or get some kind of verbal communication, we try to schedule them for a virtual interview. Once we schedule you for that virtual interview, we make sure that that person shows up on time for the virtual interview. If for any reason they don't show up on time, we always ask for what the reason is, and it's your choice as the employer to believe them or not. I've heard a million reasons why they weren't able to. Some of them are funny, some of them are believable. So it's up to your personal discretion to do so. I tend to have a 0 tolerance policy. If the person shows up late, I just will never interview them again. That's it, they're excluded. If they do send an email the next day asking, to reschedule it and XYZ reason why, I can consider it again if they're a good candidate, just because at least they made that effort, but I'm not going to go out of my way to reach out to that person again. Now, when you're doing that virtual interview, the main thing is really just communication for us. So if that client, potential job member can communicate effectively with me, then I know that they're going to be a great candidate for us, because then they can communicate well with my clients. So that's really the main emphasis of that interview. It's not so much about the substance, it's more about could they really communicate their thoughts and answer questions in a professional manner. Once they go through that hoop, they will be scheduled for an in-person interview. At this point, we already like them and we're already interested in them. But that in-person interview is really done to see if they can follow procedures, because as they are working for the company, you want to make sure that people can also listen to your guidance. So we really only ask for two things: one, to come in professional attire, and two, to bring a copy of your resume. We already have a copy of their resume, and where they're not coming in for anything specific. We just want to see if they can come to professionally dressed, and if they can bring a copy of the resume. If they do bring those things, then you know that, when you ask them to do something that's maybe a little bit more hard, they're going to be more than willing to do so. And then if they don't follow those procedures, you can always ask them why they didn't. And same thing, you have to choose to either believe them or not. Once we explain all of the procedures about the job, then we will explain a little bit more in detail what they will actually be doing. Because a lot of times somebody who applies for the job, they might be a good candidate for the position, but we may not be a good candidate for them as a job. So it's important to be very clear and transparent when hiring these people. And these are the people that are going to be running the company, that are going to be doing all of the day-to-day tasks. So it's really important that you hire people that you also like, that you feel you can work with, that you can feel open with. Because when you do have, as an owner, a lot of trust in your staff, you're going to have much more success in the company moving forward. So that was just kind of what the topic I wanted to talk a little bit about. This is my first official kind of video getting back into it, because I did make like an intro video getting back into it. I definitely want to be more consistent. Let me know what you guys think about these videos, while I'm driving. I know sometimes I'm looking forward, sometimes I'm looking at the camera, trying to make as much, eye contact, but I want to know what you guys think. If this was a video that was helpful, please make sure to like it. Please make sure to comment and share. I'm just starting out, so every single like and every single comment that you guys do really makes a huge difference, and I really appreciate it. Thank you guys.